if it's your first time watching, I'm Kei, a third-year psychology student studying at Durham University. So today I thought I'd take you on a day in my life as me.
Hi, good morning. So it's currently 10:20 and it's the last day of my first week of term. It's raining a bit outside, so might be hard to film while walking, but hopefully we'll do well.
So typically I wake up at 10 or 11 a.m. depending on the day. I'm not really a breakfast person, so I'd either skip it completely or I'll just grab a quick matcha roll to munch on. I try to keep my morning routine minimal because I value sleep over anything else. I have so much respect for people who dress like Elle Woods to lectures.
Hi, Woods, Elle.
Anyway, Durham is typically a mix between sunny and gloomy, and unfortunately today was the latter. So here I'm just showing you some crushed apples from the apple tree outside my house. Right, so it is a 35-minute walk to my first lecture place. So I've got a lecture at 11 a.m. and then a lecture at 4. I don't know, we'll just be around town, I guess. And I swear the view here is great when the weather's good. Now it doesn't actually take me 35 minutes. I like to say that just so you don't overestimate my speed walking abilities. So this street right here is called Church Street, and people are known to speed walk this section. I make sure not to be a nuisance, but sometimes I still get overtaken by other people. I try my best. So this is the science site, which is where all my lectures, well, most of them take place. However, the psychology building is not really in the science site. It's all the way up there. But we're at the last leg of the trek. You can literally see the blinding lights at the end of this hike. At some point it does feel like you're making your way to heaven. Occasionally I do get overtaken walking up Cardiac Hill, which is this hill, which just leaves me confused, but also impressed at the same time. Durham Psychology building is a little ugly, so thankfully I don't have all my lectures here. My 11 a.m. lecture today is on emotion and social perception, and we basically just talked about the history of emotion and why we need emotions and how we came to understand them. And can I just comment on the socially distanced seats? I mean, maybe it was renovated during the COVID era, but I'm just still trying to wrap my head around this design. Just finished my first lecture. My next lecture is in 4 hours, so I'm just gonna have a quick warm lunch and then I'll go to the TLC. So I usually have lunch back in my house, but since Fridays are quite busy for me, I just eat out. Also, if you see me clenching on my turtleneck, it's because it was a really cold day, rainy as well, so I was just trying to keep my mouth warm. I feel like solitude isn't celebrated enough in uni life. I've been a research assistant over summer looking at solitude and people's experience of solitude, and I've sort of gained this new understanding of the notion of solo dining and how it can be a pretty comforting experience. So yes, I'm really trying to enjoy it nowadays. So after lunch, I headed to the TLC, which is the Teaching and Learning Center for people who are not from Durham. And nobody calls it by its full name anyway. So by this time the weather had cleared and you can see the blue skies. The TLC is probably my current obsession in terms of Durham's buildings, except for the mirrorless toilets, because what is this abomination? Sort yourself out, Durham. Finding a seat in the TLC was oddly hard today, considering it was the start of term, but thankfully I got myself a cubicle and just started catching on a lecture. Yes, I did miss a lecture on the first week of term. That's because I got the time wrong. It was all on me. So this lecture I was watching, it's from Applied Issues in Clinical Neuropsychology, and it was about headaches. So I love our professor for this module, and I really wish I didn't miss the lecture because she actually tried to induce a brain freeze on some students for research purposes. I swear not all psychology lectures are like this, but this one was fun to listen to, as you can imagine. Anyway, so after watching the lecture recording and making my notes and stuff, it was about time for my second lecture of the day, so I headed downstairs to the lecture theater. I personally am a big fan of the TLC's lecture theaters because they have outlets for every seat, so it would be really useful if your laptop is running out of battery during a lecture. My lectures are 2 hours long each, so it's possible if you don't have it on full charge. Yeah, so this lecture was on criminological psychology, and today we talked about the UK's prison system. I'm really interested in forensic psychology, so even though this lecture is at 4 p.m. on a Friday, I wouldn't miss it for the world. So this lecture ended early at 5:30, so I had a bit of time before this dinner gathering I had. Just sort of walked around with a friend. So then we convened with our friends at Turtle Bay, and here is me sipping on my mocktail, which was quite good. And here's Hey, who doesn't have any contact hours on a Friday, and he just came out for dinner. So after a very nice dinner and, catching up with friends, we headed back together, and I'm heading back now. So that was a day in the life of me. So thank you for watching this video. Hope that was interesting enough. I don't know how people make their vlogs so long. Bye!